Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys, I'll be checking out Vivek, Ramaswamy and Khanna as they discuss on Republicans' debt ceiling bill on MSNBC. And you guys, I'm super excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's dive right into this video.
Hilarious to me when Republicans say it's like giving your kid a credit card. They were the kid for 4 years. They spent the money and now they don't want to pay the bill.
$8 trillion that Trump racked up. 25% of the debt. But here's the credit card bill and kids analogy. If your kids racked up credit card bills and credit card debt, who says I'm just not going to pay the company?
Right.
I mean, okay, so they can take your house and destroy your credit. Of course you pay the bills.
Right.
It's the most common sense thing.
And not only that, but the way that you would respond if, let's say, that was your only card. Let's say you racked up all of this credit card debt and you paid for needed expenses with the credit card, and you had the opportunity to raise your credit limit so that you could still buy food, you could still pay bills, you would get an increased credit limit. That is what the U.S. does. Because we have good credit, we're able to get a credit limit increase. That is all that's being asked for. And to your point, they racked up most of that debt by giving the super rich a massive tax cut. And they don't have a problem with that.
First of all, you'd pay your bills, you'd get the money, as you said, and then you'd have a conversation, right? If you're part of a family, do you say, okay, it's my way or the highway? Here's what we're going to cut. And you tell your kids and your spouse that's what you do? Of course you don't. You sit there and you discuss. That's what this president is saying. He's saying, look, let's pay our bills. Then I will have a conversation about how we reduce our deficit. Kevin McCarthy doesn't want that. He wants to take hostage the entire Congress unless you get exactly his bill. What if Nancy Pelosi had done that? What if we had said, unless you give us Medicare for all, unless you give us Green New Deal, President Trump, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. Of course we don't do that because we're responsible, because we believe in compromise when it comes to the functioning of the government. They're acting irresponsible.
And a lot of your base probably would like it if y'all had done that. Let's talk about there needs to be a clean debt limit increase. That's just dumb what Kevin McCarthy is trying to argue. But in a actual budget negotiation, what would Democrats be willing to put on the table? Because the reality is we do need a Green New Deal. We do actually need to do more on climate. We do actually need things like, preschool, subsidized preschool, the things that got cut out of the bill when the big infrastructure bill went through. How do those things get done?
Well, let's start with the fact that most of the debt historically has been racked up with Republican presidents. Bill Clinton left us with a budget surplus. Here's what happened after that. We went into these overseas wars that racked up a lot of money. We had the Trump tax cuts for the very wealthy. We had the Bush tax cuts for the very wealthy. If we just start by repealing the tax cuts to the very wealthy and we stop a lot of these overseas wars and we don't have a defense budget that gets to $1 trillion.
Why doesn't defense ever get cuts?
I don't know. And have you ever noticed, Joy, that when we speak about defense, we talk about a 1 year spending, it's going to be almost $1 trillion. But when we talk about the IRA, 360-some billion, that's over 10 years.
Yeah.
We're going to do 10 trillion almost over 10 years.
And who would get, in this bill, we're talking about cutting things like SNAP. You're talking about cutting food stamps, Meals on Wheels. Why do Republicans think it's good politics to go after elderly people who could get sick and then can't get Medicaid? So you're saying now on top of being sick, now you lose your Medicaid. And what do they expect to happen to those people?
They're hoping people don't pay attention to the details.
Yeah.
But, that's what our job is. The cuts are for veterans' health care, 22% cut for veterans' health care.
Oh, that part of military spending they can cut.
Yeah, exactly. So that you can actually get an appointment at the VA. That's what this is going to mean for veterans. Less appointments, longer wait times.
Yeah.
They're cutting K through 12 education, early childhood education, food stamps. At a time the economy is going through tough times, and you're going to take away food stamps. By the way, there was a great study, USA Today, that if you have work requirements, it does nothing to actually increase work. All it does is take food away from people, which they may need to get back to work.
Whereas SNAP boosts the economy because it all gets spent at Walmart and at stores. I want to do a little side issue I want to talk to you about. You had a back and forth on the Twitters with one Vivek Ramaswamy, who currently is boasting about getting, who was the only African-American anchor in this business before I joined him in prime at CNN, Don Lemon. He's boasting about getting him fired. He thinks that is somehow going to be a big, flag for his run for president. Your thoughts on him? Because you've been back and forth with him online.
You know, when he first started, I thought, okay, here's an Indian American, funny name. We disagree. Hopefully he makes a good showing or does something well. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, Joy. My phone blew up with other Indian Americans saying, make it clear he doesn't speak for us. Yeah. I mean, to sit there lecturing a black man about black history was totally uncalled for. And then he didn't have all his historical facts. I mean, the Indian American community in this country owes a huge debt to the African American community. If it weren't for the civil rights movement, the 1965 Immigration Reform Act wouldn't have passed. My parents wouldn't have come to America. Before that, basically, immigrants from Asia and Africa were not allowed to come. It was highly discriminatory.
It's really ironic because neither his nor my parents could have come here under the rules before the Civil Rights Act, before that 65 Civil Rights Bill. But he's acting as if the NRA somehow saved African Americans in the Civil War. The NRA wasn't even formed until 1871. Well, he doesn't know anything about African American history. He clearly doesn't know the reasons for the Civil War because he thinks the purpose of the Civil War was to get black people the right to bear arms. Well, I mean, what?
The last I checked, Dr. King, it was a nonviolent civil rights movement influenced, by the way, by Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah. And so the fact that maybe some of them had guns to protect themselves, they weren't advocating the use of guns. They were advocating nonviolence. And here's the point. He's saying, well, any individual should have the right to talk about black history. Of course, everyone should have the right to talk about it. You should have opinions, but they should be informed opinions. Yeah. They should be opinions after you've read history books. And they should be ones not with arrogance, but with humility. Yeah. Especially if you're talking to someone who has actually studied and read that history.
Yeah, I guess, I guess being fluid in your mellifluous ability to speak does not mean that you know what the hell you're talking about. And he clearly did not. And Don was right in that.
Wow, you guys, that was such an interesting one. And I totally enjoyed every bit of this interview with Khanna. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this whole Vivek Ramaswamy running for presidency and all of what he's been talking about. Let me know what this is all about because I have no clue actually. This is the first time I'm actually hearing about Vivek Ramaswamy running for presidency, and I want to know more about this particular guy called Vivek. And you guys, I totally had fun reacting to this video. If you did enjoy watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And this is me officially signing out. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.